10 people who have miraculously survived COVID-19 around the world. Over 11 million people around the world have been infected with the novel coronavirus, COVID-19. The pandemic has, to date, claimed the lives of over 524,000 people worldwide and will undoubtedly claim more. But approximately 5.83 million people have also successfully recovered from the infection. Out of these cases, some patients with minimum chances of survival have miraculously defined their end, giving a ray of hope to millions of others fighting the pandemic. We have listed below 10 such cases that will lift your spirits amid the gloomy times of pandemic. Number 1. In one of the rarest of the rare cases, an elderly couple in India beat the coronavirus. 98-year-old Thomas and his 88-year-old wife Mariamma tested positive for coronavirus in Kerala, India. The couple remained critical for several days before recovering from the infection completely. According to the statistics, doctors believe that the mortality rate due to COVID-19 is higher in elderly people as compared to others, but the incredible recovery of the couple has brought a ray of hope among other older people fighting the infection. Number 2. A 30-year-old critically ill patient survives COVID-19 after spending 10 days in the ICU. A 30-year-old man from Pune, India mistook COVID-19 symptoms for regular flu and took treatment from a local clinic for a few days. When the symptoms intensified and his saliva turned red, the man realized it was a serious issue. He then got tested for COVID-19 and the reports came positive. Due to the delay in proper treatment, he got pneumonia and was shifted to an ICU immediately. With the correct medicines, continuous oxygen support, and his determination to overcome the disease, the man who was extremely critical recovered from the infection after 10 days. His doctors say it's a medical miracle. Number 3. A 90-year-old woman recovering from stroke contracts and overcomes COVID-19. Doctors and researchers believe that elderly people and those with chronic ailments are almost vulnerable to this coronavirus. However, a 90-year-old woman, Geneva Wood, who caught the infection while she was recovering from a stroke at Life Care Center Senior Care Facility in Seattle, has a different story to tell. Wood was very confident that she'd fight and get through the disease as coronavirus infected her after the stroke. Almost 62% of the 130 elderly people at the Life Care Center where Wood was treated had caught the infection. In fact, over a quarter of them have succumbed to the virus, but Wood fought it hard and gradually her symptoms subsided. After a few weeks, Wood was discharged from the hospital. Number 4. A 104-year-old World War II veteran survived COVID-19. This coronavirus pandemic is nothing less than a war, and fighting the disease to survival is equal to winning a war. Bill Lapchais, a 104-year-old World War II veteran from America, has won the battle of life against the coronavirus with flying colors. Moreover, despite Bill's age, he did not develop any respiratory problems due to COVID-19 as seen in other elderly patients. He recovered from the infection easily. He also celebrated his 104th birthday at the hospital in a small celebration arranged by his family members with social distancing. Number 5. A 100-year-old Chinese man with Alzheimer's disease and hypertension recovers from COVID-19. Born in February 1920, a Chinese man with prior health conditions including Alzheimer's, hypertension, and heart failure was diagnosed with COVID-19. Due to his underlying health problems, several different methods were used by the doctors to treat him. These include traditional Chinese medicines, antiviral treatments, and convalescent plasma therapy. The 100-year-old man finally recovered from the infection in a few weeks. Number 6. A 114-year-old Ethiopian monk beats COVID-19 after 3 weeks. Tilahon Michael, who is believed to be 114 years old, tested positive for coronavirus in Ethiopia. The aged monk received treatment mainly composed of oxygen and dexamethasone, a widely used combination for treating coronavirus, and he recovered in 3 weeks. An overwhelmed grandson of the monk brought him home from the hospital and said the family was overjoyed to welcome him back. Tilahon is one of the oldest people to have survived coronavirus infection around the world. Number 7. A 104-year-old Spanish flu survivor overcomes coronavirus. Ada Zanuso, a 104-year-old woman from Spain, tested positive for coronavirus after developing fever, vomiting, and experiencing breathlessness. After weeks of treatment, Ada recovered from COVID-19. She had probably contracted the virus from some of the 20 other residents at her home care who died of COVID-19. Ada also had reportedly survived the Spanish flu when she was a child. Number 8. A 52-year-old diabetic patient recovers from COVID-19 after being on a ventilator for a month. If doctors put a COVID-19 patient on a ventilator, it means the person has reached a very crucial stage of the disease. A 52-year-old diabetic patient, Nitadius Mukherjee from Kolkata, India, was moved onto ventilator support after his condition worsened due to the coronavirus infection. Doctors said it was extremely difficult to get Nitadius back to normal, but after a month of treatment and prayers, he finally recovered from the disease. Surviving the infection after being on a ventilator for 30 days is nothing less than a miracle, doctors said. Number 9. A 5-month-old baby in a coma survived COVID-19. A 5-month-old baby from Brazil contracted coronavirus when his parents and other relatives visited him. His father said that Dom was suffering from breathing issues first. Doctors thought it was because of bacterial infection, but his mother later took him to another hospital where they tested him for COVID-19. Dom tested positive for the infection. Due to deteriorating health, he was then put on a ventilator by the doctors. He was in an induced state of coma for 54 days before finally testing negative for COVID-19. Dom's recovery has been hailed as a medical miracle by his parents and doctors alike. Number 10. Medics applaud 6-month-old Erin after she beat coronavirus despite a heart condition. Baby Erin from the UK underwent open-heart surgery just 2 months after her birth. A couple of months later, she was diagnosed with coronavirus. After spending a few weeks in the isolation unit surrounded by tubes and oxygen, 6-month-old Erin recovered from COVID-19. Erin's heartbreaking pictures also went viral on social media. Doctors and other health workers in the hospital gathered to applaud brave Erin and bid her a grand send-off farewell when her parents were taking her home after discharge.